Louis Riddick, college football analyst, NFL analyst, and former NFL player, teammate of Deion Sanders back in the early 90s. So he'll be on the call, Colorado State, with Mark Jones. That'll be on the mothership at 10 p.m. Eastern on Saturday night. He joins us from Boulder, Colorado. How is morale in Boulder, Colorado?
Dan, it couldn't be higher, man. I mean, people around here are absolutely fired up right now as far as what they've considered to be a new age in Colorado football. I mean, it is these kids here believe in what Deion is doing in just the way that I expected him to be quite honest with you, because it's the same thing happened at Jackson State. This is a guy who brings a tremendous amount of credibility and competency, and they're seeing that he positively is impacting them on and off the field. From there, everything else is really characterized by 100% buy-in, man. And the fan base around here is just they're excited to see what this means as far as the upside once this roster continues to develop and he's able to get even better big men. Because right now, from a skill position perspective, you'll see on Saturday night, and you've seen already, these guys can go, man. They can deal with anybody in the country from a skill position perspective.
Yeah, I thought that they were top heavy going into this year just because Deion trying to get his plan in place and bringing in recruits and get rid of the old players. I thought next year was going to be that year where you go, boy, they made that leap. I mean, they're so far ahead of expectation level. But also, is there any chance they can lose this game Saturday night?
There's always a chance because it's a rivalry game. And Colorado State did not put even close to their best foot forward against Washington State 2 weeks ago when they went when Washington State went into their home place and pretty much took them apart. And Washington State's going to be a good football team. You're going to see that by the end of this year. That is a darn good football team, and they're going to beat a lot of people. Yeah, there's always a chance because they can throw the football too. They have a version of the air raid, and they just made a change at the quarterback position. They've got some wide receivers that can go also. And right now, Colorado's defense, it's, let's just say, a work in progress. All right. They're not going to shut anybody down. They're going to outscore people more so than they're going to dominate them on defense. But do I expect Colorado to win this football game? Yeah, I do. I wonder if Deion can keep these kids really dialed in and living moment to moment and not looking ahead, because they've got two just monstrous tests coming down the road with Oregon and SC in the subsequent 2 weeks. So as long as they don't look ahead and they stay in the moment, I expect them to win the football game. But I don't expect it to be a blowout. I hope it's not a blowout, because I hope that the rivalry aspect of it and what Jay Norvell has obviously sparked around here in terms of people being fired up, I hope that helps his football team. I hope his team can cash the checks that he's writing right now for them, as far as what he said just yesterday.
Yeah. And, Deion's taking whatever. It's like the Michael Jordan method. Hey, what did you say about me? I mean, even when guys didn't say something about Jordan, he still made it into something. Deion's made everything personal. Opening week, it's personal. Last week, personal. Now this became personal because of what the Colorado State coach had to say. What is Deion's role when the game starts?
I think, look, he's obviously put together a very, very good staff. I think overall, from a 30,000-foot view perspective, there are certain things and certain ways that he wants this team to play that he will definitely communicate to his assistants as to how he wants the game to unfold. I mean, obviously, he's a very smart X and O person, both from an offensive and defensive perspective, because he's done both. But I think he's, without a doubt, the CEO. And he lets the offensive and defensive coaches do what they need to do. And that's really the role of any head coach. And he's been very smart about that from what I can tell. I'm looking forward to, like, today we're going to go over to the offices and we're going to talk with him. And I've texted back and forth with him over the years. And these are some real good questions that I'm wind up asking him, just about how he runs this operation, both from a preparation standpoint and then a game day standpoint. But I'll tell you this, it looks as smooth as can be. And you know what? I think the thing that maybe people will in due time give him more credit for is the fact that, look, Deion's not just about marketing and hype. This is a football guy, man, who I remember back in the early 90s when I played with him. He is super, super football intelligent now. So let's not get into all the hype and the kickoff returns and interceptions and the way he played the game. This guy's a student of the game, and he's a great leader, and he's a guy who's tremendously charismatic. So people don't want to believe that. People keep like wanting to like make digs at this program and say, look, this is just a flash in the pan. There's no way they can sustain this. Don't bet on that. Don't bet on that. You'll make yourself look foolish.
He's Louis Riddick of the Mothership. He covers the NFL and college football. He'll be on the call with Mark Jones. That'll be Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, if I would have said at the beginning of the year, when you get your schedule.
Yep.
So you knew you were going to do this game in the preseason?
No, we did not. This is, you know how it goes really in college from week to week. We kind of like formulate the schedule as it goes along because, obviously with college games, you want to have the most impactful games in the most impactful time slots. So, we were just alerted that we were getting this game about a week ago. And so, no, there hasn't been a whole lot towards it. The first 2 weeks, we knew the first couple games, the first 2 weeks of the season. But no, this one was, we just found this out about a week ago.
I saw where Mel Kiper said that Deion's son is now, he'll be a first-round draft pick.
Yep.
Okay. Why wasn't he a first-round draft pick when he was playing at Jackson State? Why is it that you play two games? Like, this drives me crazy. Like, he's the same player, and was he a first-round draft pick at Jackson State, or he just became one because now he's doing it at Colorado against TCU and against Nebraska?
You're hitting the nail on the head, Dan. I mean, look, a lot of times what happens is, well, first of all, what a lot of what Deion wanted to do down at Jackson State and what he wanted to do for HBCUs overall was get them more notoriety and get college scouting departments, scouting directors, general managers taking that football down there much more seriously from a NFL perspective. And they weren't. That's just the fact. They weren't. And if you throw on the tape over the past 2 years of what Shadeur was able to do down there, you will see many of the same things he's doing right now. I mean, he is a guy who is extremely poised, confident, smart, strong in the pocket, can create, throw the football at all three levels. He can do it all. It's just that now he's doing it on a national stage against teams that have quote unquote brand recognition. Everybody knows TCU, everybody knows Nebraska.
Yeah. So
now that you're doing it on Fox, now that you're doing it on ESPN, and people are talking about it, they're kind of like there's more eyeballs on it. Now people are going, oh, okay. All right, maybe he is pretty good. So look, he's been doing this his whole career. And now he's just doing it on a bigger stage where now people are going like, the bandwagon jumpers are jumping on. And I don't want to say that about NFL front offices because they're not necessarily bandwagon jumpers. But I think now, a little bit of the herd mentality does kind of creep in, which is, now it seems like it's okay to maybe kind of step out there, and go out on a limb and say, yeah, this guy is extremely talented and he is doing it at a higher level of competition, quote unquote. But look, he hasn't changed as far as the characteristics that he has put on display from day one that he stepped foot down at Jackson State. He's getting better and better, but this young man has always been that player. And if you go back and watch him and you just change the uniform, he looks the same. He's just getting better and he's doing it on a bigger stage. That's all.
And Travis Hunter was one of the top recruits coming out of high school.
Yeah.
Could you see him playing two-way in the NFL?
If someone will let him, yeah. It's not going to be about Travis not being capable of doing it. It's going to be whether or not people are willing to let him do it. And look, I mean, does
Deion see himself in Travis Hunter?
No question. Absolutely no question. Yeah. And when you break down his tape, look, Travis right now may be more skilled and more impactful as a wide receiver than he even is as a corner. Because just exquisite route running ability, body control, hand-eye coordination to track the football. I mean, it's almost like these guys get bored on defense because they're not at the point of attack enough. I mean, they can be, eliminated from a game just by avoiding it. The wide receiver, you can't eliminate me. If they want to get the ball to me, they'll scheme it up to get it to me and put my hands on. Travis is different. He really is. And I don't like, engaging in hyperbole too much, Dan, but look, having played with Deion and actually been in awe as a teammate at how fluid and different and one-of-one he was as a teammate and as a player, when you watch Travis Hunter, and anytime he's at the point of attack, if you're a betting man and you could actually freeze live action in that moment in time and go, I want to put some money on whether or not this guy's going to win this contest.
Yeah.
You would bet on this kid every single time. And that's what you would have done with Deion too. I've seen it. These guys are different. This young man is different. And when you see Deion talk about Travis Hunter, his eyes get this big. Because there's no doubt what he's seeing is that's a modern day version of me. He's that legit. I hope he puts on a show tomorrow night.
What's your favorite Deion Sanders story, either on the field or off the field?
I think on the field, 1992, we were playing in Washington down at RFK, and he hadn't been around because he was playing baseball at the time. And that's my rookie year really in the NFL. And there was all this buzz about Deion's coming tonight. Deion's coming today. He's coming. He's going to be at the hotel today. He's going to be there. He hadn't been in part of any practice, any meeting, nothing. He showed up on game day. They had his uniform laid out and all this. And I'm just like, I've never met the guy. And my heart's beating because, he was the dude at that time. And I remember, man, we were having our kickoff return meeting on the sideline because we're getting ready to go out there and do kickoff return. And I knew he was going to be back there. They were going to put him back there. And he walked into the huddle and he said, just give me a little room. Just give me a little room. I'm taking this thing to the house. He said that to a group, and I was just like, this guy hasn't even practiced. He's been playing baseball. What are you talking about? And I'll tell you what, Dan, they kicked the ball off, man. And I was the left end on the front line of the kickoff return team. I mean, I would drop back, take my drop, and I could see the ball going, and you hear the crowd kind of building, as obviously the guy catches it. And I'm getting my block, and out of the right corner, out of my right eye, I just see this blur. And I see these legs kicking up.
No. Oh, he froze up.
And I see him from about 40.
Oh, no. Wait. Hold on. You froze up.
He started holding that ball with two hands and then started putting it up in there. I was like, the first time he touches it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hold on for a second. Hold on. Oh, man. We got
the best dramatic point.
We got right to the part where a blur went right by.
You guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a blur went by you on the kickoff with Deion.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. He goes by, and I see him come. He's breaking right up the middle of the formation, and he breaks right to the sideline. And he's about maybe 40-yard line at this point, the plus 40-yard line. And I see he has the ball in two hands, and then he takes it, and you see him put it in one hand, and you just see him start high stepping. And I'm sitting there running, and as I'm running, I'm going, he told us he was going to take this thing to the house. He hadn't had any practice. I had never met the guy. And then he danced for about 15 seconds, 20 seconds in the end zone. It was the coolest damn thing, man, because I was like, this guy literally just flew into town. They put his uniform out. He went back there and he took it 100 plus, just like that. And I was just going. And from that point on, I was like, look, anything that he wants to do, anything that he puts his mind to, he's been successful his whole life, let alone what he's overcome off the field with his health situation over the past couple of years. He's a unique dude, man. He really is. It's hard not to be in all of him.
More impressive, Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders?
Oh. Well, I think because of Bo's power. Like, Bo's almost like a myth, man.
Yes.
It's like Bo wasn't even like real. I mean, how many people, right? I mean, I said to somebody the other day, how many people that can take a baseball bat and crack it over their head and split it?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd break my neck. Bo's different. And I think Deion would tell you that too. Bo's just a different style. That kind of power and speed, I don't think we've ever seen that. I don't know if we'll ever see that again.
I know you were in the Eagles front office. If you were in the Jets front office right now, and they said, all right, Lewis, what are we going to do at the quarterbacking position? Whether it's trading for somebody or as a starter or bringing in a backup, what would you recommend?
Yeah, I think at this point, look, you drafted Zach Wilson number 2 overall. He's had, 5-6 months around Aaron Rodgers.
But can he play, though? I know
you
drafted him.
I know, but I mean, but think about the alternative. You're going to bring in somebody new who hasn't been in your system, who hasn't been around your team, and you just think you're just going to throw him into the mix here now in week 2, and he's just going to give you something that Zach can't? I just don't really see that happening either. Would you want a veteran presence and influence in your quarterback room? Yeah, I think he needs that. I think the construct of your quarterback room is very important. But what would you be telling yourself? What would you be saying to your? Well, I guess sometimes you do have to just face the fact that maybe you made a mistake.
The Niners did. I mean, the Niners admitted they made a mistake.
True. You're right. And as I think through it, I mean, I get your point. But I think for them, look, Nathaniel Hackett's just going to have to work around whatever deficiencies they still think Zach has. And they're going to have to make this work with him and ride the other strengths of this team as far as they can go. That's just going to be what they're going to have to do, because there's nobody who's just going to ride in and just kind of save the day and pick up where Aaron left off. It's just not going to happen. Look, this is a tragic case of a franchise quarterback getting hurt in a way that you never could have foreseen, as there is.
Yeah.
There's no two ways about that. But this is Zach's moment, man. From a physical perspective, that isn't the issue. It's all up here. We always knew that about Doc Wilson. We're going to see whether or not Aaron helped him get that going the right way or not.
Have fun. We'll be watching on Saturday night. My best to Mark Jones. We played a few basketball games against each other.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll let him know, man.
Thank you, man.
You got it.
That's Louis Riddick. He's also going to be on the call. He's got Monday night 2 games on the mothership, Saints-Panthers, and then Browns and the Steelers. So you got 2 Monday night games. He'll be doing the Saturday night game, Colorado State. That'll be at 10 Eastern and 10 p.m. Eastern. I love it.